Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's topic is going to be very interesting. Today I'm going to talk about 5 reasons why self-publishers get a bad rep compared to traditional publishers. Let's get going. Number 1, seen as less than. Now, this is a very delicate subject, but a lot of self-publishers are seen as less than when compared to traditional publishers. And I simply don't agree with that. And I may be a little biased because I am a self-published author. However, I go through all of the same things that regular traditional publishers go through. The only thing that's a difference is I don't have a traditional publishing company behind me publishing my books, putting it inside the Barnes & Noble's physical stores all around the country. The difference here is that we have to do all the work ourselves. We have to do all the marketing. We have to do all the arrangements for editors, book cover designers, everything. But I'm going to show you a little something. This is a book by Dean Koontz. Dean Koontz is one of my favorite authors. He is a traditional publisher from a traditional publishing company based in Orange County. This is a self-published book by an author named Nichole Heydenburg. She is a self-published author, and she is one of my favorite self-published writers online anywhere. She's written several books. They're all amazing thrillers, just with captivating characters everywhere. This is a book by Vika Coppens. She is an artist in Belgium, and she wrote a book talking about her art and talking about it's a woman fiction, invites you into the life of Vik. So she created a story based on her art, essentially, and I adore it. I've read it a couple times, and it's great. I've seen books like this that were made by traditional publishers that were much less quality than this book came out. Vika doesn't write as many books or writings anymore, but you can see her drawings online. I will submit her social media information for you to see. This is The Shining. You all know Stephen King. He is one of the most crankiest and most famous authors of all time, and he is a traditional publisher. He got big back in the day. Now, why did I show you all that? I showed you that to show that there are some differences, but it's mainly the same. The only thing that separates the traditional published authors and the self-published authors is that the traditional published authors got some luck on the way. They found the agent that wanted to represent them. They found the people that wanted to put their faith in them. That doesn't make self-published authors any less than traditional published authors. We're out there getting our work in, and we're trying to get our books seen. Our books are very hard to sell, even if you're a traditional published author. Just because you're traditionally published doesn't mean that your books are going to sell millions of copies, because at the end of the day, there's still millions and millions of authors out there to compete with, and authors are always going to have stiff competition, especially when it comes to different genres, different stories, different categories. So there is no shame in being a self-published author, but that is essentially the first reason why self-published authors are seen as less desirable, because they are often seen as beneath. Number 2, not backed by a publication. Now, you may think that a national publication backing you is going to mean your book is better. That's not always the case. I've actually seen editing errors in standardized published books, and you would be surprised at how many there are. It doesn't mean a thing. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of good national publishers. You're going to get local publishers that publish these books. It doesn't mean they're perfect. And I've seen self-published books that are amazing with little grammatical issues and little mistakes. There isn't really much of a difference. Yes, there are a lot of self-published authors that don't have good quality, but they still have really good books. And I could say the same about traditional published authors. But a big publication backing you does not mean that your book is any better than someone whose book is not backed by a traditional publisher. Number 3, editing. Going back to what I just said, editing is very important. I'm going to tell you something here. So this book, my latest release, The Gridiron Vendetta, it is a near perfectly edited book. And I say that because I've had a friend read all of it and say there was only 1 or 2 mistakes, and that was something that would not have been easily noticed by anybody. But other people don't have that issue. But going back to my point in number 2, national published books have had editing issues as well. Just because you have a large backer behind you doesn't mean your book's going to be perfect. And just because you don't have anyone behind you doesn't mean your book's going to be riddled with mistakes. Editing it's kind of like a stereotype. They say that if you're a self-published author, you're going to have editing issues. No, that's not true. If you find a good editor like I did, and like several other authors did, then you're not going to have an issue with editing. So this is a misconstrued ideology that people believe about self-published writers, and it's simply not true across the board. Number 4, early mistakes, lack of marketing. Well, you're going to go to a self-published author's Amazon and Goodreads, you're not going to see a lot of reviews, and that's the case for me. That doesn't mean my books are bad. It doesn't mean any other author of self-published variety is bad. It just means we're struggling to get people to read our books and review. How hard is it to get people to read your books? It is so hard, especially when you are a self-published author that nobody knows, basically. It doesn't mean that your books are terrible. It just means that it is really hard to sell people books and then to get them to write a 5 to 10 second review on Amazon or Goodreads that people will actually read. People tend to only want to review stuff when they absolutely hate the book. And even then, when people read a book and don't like it, they sometimes won't even review the book. So it's really hard to overcome this flurry of mistakes that self-published writers go through, especially when it comes to trying to get themselves out there. And it kind of tarnishes their name in the end. And number 5, going back to my earlier statement, less attention. So self-published authors don't get the attention that national published authors get. You're not going to see me next to Stephen King in the Hall of Fame of Writers. You're not going to see me next to Dean Koontz. It doesn't mean that I don't have the potential to be up there with them. It just means that they are traditionally published. Everybody knows their names. They have movies based off books from theirs. They have TV shows based off books of theirs. Self-published authors are likely never going to get that unless we form a team on YouTube or on TikTok and create the stories ourselves. Basically, we are the machine that chugs the engine. We do all the work ourselves, harkening back to number 1. And we get less attention for it unless we get a devoted fan base. But otherwise, we're doing all the work ourselves. I created a book trailer of real actors, and that's going to go out very soon for my next book, Escobar Strikes Back. But you're not going to see a national chain making a book trailer for me. And I'm not saying that to be bitter. I'm just saying it's a truth right now that self-published writers do not get the attention as national published authors, and that makes it more difficult to see them as on this equal level as traditional published authors. But we do take our time with our books. We want our books to be good. We want our books to be the best. So we always strive to make sure our books are perfectly edited with a good cover, and we also create the marketing materials we need to try and get the information out there. Well, thank you for watching this video. This has been a hot topic subject, traditional versus self-published. I'm going to do more videos like this because I really relate to the topic. I think it's a good topic, and I'd like to talk more about it in the future. If you like my content, remember to like, share, and subscribe right down there. There's going to be more videos, and I have to go. Talk to you later. Bye.